All right, that says we're going. Good morning, everybody. If you're catching this live or sometime in the next 4.5 hours, or maybe it'll be tomorrow morning or the next one, or maybe it'll be the morning of September 12, 2084, because we should all know what our internet footprint looks like. In any case, it looks like we did get things right technologically this time around. Our blog post is up on our website. It did go out via email. At least it looks like it did. I got mine. And hopefully, if you are subscribed to it, you received it. And if you are not and would like to be, you can do that on our website. That's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. But this time around, really an interesting topic, and I do want to digress a moment and apologize to my father, who was literally one of the global leading minds in tax law, although far more on a corporate level than on the level we deal with most of our clients. So I did have to go behind your back, your years out of the game, buddy, and talk to somebody who's more active in this role right now. But basically, what we talked about and what we wrote about and what we've posted and what we're here video blogging about is joint property ownership and what the impacts could be. Now, we talk about this with our clients. Do you want to set up title as joint tenants? Do you want to be tenants in common? These kinds of things. What type of joint ownership? And we talk about it from a mortgage perspective and from a title perspective and from a right of survivorship title. But perspective, excuse me, but there are an awful lot of things that we don't talk about, and we should. I'm guilty and will going forward, obviously. And some of the things that are red flags in that process are what we've written about in the blog. And I won't go into great detail on each one, but go check out the blog post if you want to know more. But some pitfalls, like not knowing which type of joint ownership you're actually choosing, and not actually talking all the way through the expectations for the end game. What is that going to look like at the end when you're exiting the property, when you're dividing that asset, those kinds of things. A big one that we never really think about, this isn't really something that we deal with in our role because we know the co-owner's financial situation. Obviously, we've been pretty thorough that way about credit, income, assets, etc. But if it's a situation where you're adding somebody to title and you don't know their financial situation, that could wreak havoc on things when it comes to judgments from creditors, liens with the IRS, these kinds of things. So that's a big one. Gift tax implications are a big one. Again, these are things to discuss with an accountant or a tax attorney. Capital gains, another big issue to have those discussions with when it comes to what kind of impact adding somebody to your title could have when we're talking about the ownership rights of a particular piece of property. Waiting until there's a problem before getting it resolved. This comes up a lot. People make deed changes without thinking about the ramifications and then are forced to deal with it when there's a problem. So that's basically the gist. There's obviously a lot more detail in the actual blog post. The bottom line with this stuff is that you have got to have an education. And I don't mean about probate law or estate law or real estate law, rights to ownership when it comes to the title, etc. But I do think prior to leaping, we need to be looking. And when I say that, talking to people who actually know this stuff: tax attorney, CPA, estate attorney, the person who you're going to be on title to real estate with, your business that you may be putting the real estate in as ownership, your mortgage lender, whatever the case may be. Make sure you're getting all of the information that you need about the title to such a significant asset, the ownership of such a significant asset, before you make binding changes. So that's it this time around. If you want more details about it, go read the blog post. I'm happy to turn you on to the estate and probate attorneys we know and work with. And we'll be back next time with our vlog, our video blog, subsequent to our written blog. And you guys have a great day.